first layup is good. Welcome to the Ram Report with Tim Miles. Sebastian fires and hits. The putback is up and good by Horna. Right down the lane, throws it down. All right, it's time to talk some Colorado State basketball. It's another edition of the Ram Report with head coach Tim Miles. I'm your host, Brian Roth, as Colorado State coming off a 1-1 week, a victory over Boise State and then a loss up at the AA in Laramie. Tim, thanks for joining us. Let's first talk about that Boise State win. Ran your win streak to 8, and I know you had to be happy with the fact that not only did you get out to a big lead against Boise, but you were able to keep them at arm's length the entire way.
I thought our guys played a very complete game. I thought we were very solid defensively, held Boise to over 20 points under their season average. We're pretty much complete control of the game that last 10, 15 minutes or whatever it is. So I thought the kids really played a nice ball game.
A little confidence for your ball club to be able to put somebody away given what had transpired the previous game against TCU?
Remember, I already know what happened on Saturday, so it's hard to answer that question like I just happened. You know, I thought our guys played well. I thought they felt good about the win. When we watched tape, there wasn't a lot of errors. There weren't a lot of mistakes to go over, and I think the guys felt very comfortable and confident about where we were.
You got a good effort out of Dorian Green, and he kind of got you started. I think you guys hit your first 4 threes in that Boise State game, and Dorian Green played one of his best all-around games. I don't think he had a single turnover in 36 minutes.
I think we were like 7 of 8 or 9 at one point, making threes, made a lot of threes. Dorian was really good, and Dorian's a good player. You know, he did a lot of things for the team. Kaipo Scholarship, our newest member to the scholarship team. We were able to award Kaipo a scholarship that was available for men's basketball the second semester, and he's earned that. I gave him a scholarship. We had it available first semester. I didn't give it to Kaipo. He earned it, and I gave it to him for the second semester. And so it was good to see him on the payroll playing well. Yeah,
and he's playing scholarship type of minutes for your ball club. What was his reaction when you said, hey, we're going to pay for your school coming up your second semester?
Oh, I think he was fired up. Who wouldn't be, right? And, you know, it's more about the financial part than the I've earned this scholarship. It was a pretty cool moment. It was fun to be in that office.
Yeah, no question about that. You get the win there against Boise State to run your win streak to 8, and then you knew you had a road date coming up with Wyoming. And I know the Wyoming game didn't go exactly how you planned it. What were your thoughts? It ended up being a 70-51 loss.
Exactly the way. No, it didn't go in any way, shape, or form the way we wanted to. We said we can't let them out to a quick start. We get a goaltending call. Washington and Luster, who have made maybe 11 threes between the two of them all year, make consecutive threes. Pretty soon it's 10-2. And it was just a tough day, you know, and we couldn't let them. They got on top early, got a roll. We didn't want that to happen, and it was just an uphill fight that we never even came close to getting back on top of that hill with them. But you have to credit Wyoming. They did a great job.
Yeah, it seemed like you had not played in a hostile environment for quite some time. In fact, you have to go back to the UTEP contest. How much did the Wyoming crowd maybe affect your ball club?
Well, the home crowd that's energized and behind their team and it kind of into the opponent is always difficult to go against. And I thought the Wyoming crowd was really good for them. I mean, we hadn't been up there with that many people. They had 7,900 people. It was their biggest crowd of the year. And I thought it's always fun to be a part of that if things are going well. And it's tough to be a part of that when they are not going well. And I just look at the job that Coach Shai has done defensively and even offensively with that Wyoming team. They're really good. They had a couple kids like we do sitting out right now, Luke Martinez and Leonard Washington, that are critical parts of their puzzle. And they were really tough to beat, and they proved that.
Yeah, on the positive side, though, I thought Greg Smith really came out, gave you energy early. He led you with 18.
Yeah, Greg played really well, you know, and we didn't get much out of our guards. We didn't get much out of Will Bell. Will had been phenomenal, you know, against earlier in the week against Boise and TCU, but wasn't as good against those two big kids inside. Our guard play was non-existent. Not only did we turn it over a lot, we didn't have assists and we didn't make shots, and that's usually a bad recipe.
Yeah, and I guess you really do have to credit Wyoming in this contest, especially defensively, because you look at what they did against your top 2 scorers. They shut Eichmeyer and Green down.
And we did some of that to ourselves. You know, we were falling out of every shot, you know, whether it be Wes or Dorian or Kaipo. You look at every shot we were taking from the perimeter. We didn't shoot it, stick our landing. You know, we were falling left, falling right, falling back. And that tells you something about the mentality of our team. It also tells you something about their defense. Their defense was into us. And, you we just can't play like that. You know, you have to be able to go up with confidence and knock down your shots.
So the Rams will try to get back on the right track coming up this week. A couple of tough opponents at New Mexico and home versus San Diego State. We'll talk about those two games, and we'll also introduce you to the coaching staff here at Colorado State as well. All that and more coming up. Stay with us here on the Ram Report.
Can't get enough of the Rams? Get all the latest updates at csurams.com. Check out videos, analysis, breaking news, and more. csurams.com.
Up here, there's something that makes the remarkable an inspirational thing.
Taking our work with this out of the lab and putting it into these all over the world.
Chasing tornadoes from the shadow of the Rockies.
A special sensitivity that revolutionized an industry.
All of this in a great Colorado town. It's an exciting place to live and learn!
Colorado State University. Inspiration happens on higher ground.
Twitter's great. Here's one. The Rams won, and I got my painted stuff on TV last night. The bad news, this stuff ain't coming off, and I've got a job interview. Are you Big Rammy?
Yeah, that's me.
You got a job interview today?
Yeah, I gotta be there in an hour and I can't get this paint off.
That's why we're here. Let's go, guys. Smile. Look them right in the eye. You got this. You can do it. Go get them. Let's go.
43,000 CSU Ram alums call Denver home. Now it's easier for Denver Ram fans to stay connected with CSU. Visit the all-new Colorado State University Denver Center, where all Ram alums will feel at home. You can make professional connections, enjoy events with other alumni. You can even show your Ram pride with all the best CSU fan gear. Stay connected with CSU. Visit us at 17th and Glenarm or online at rams5280.colostate.edu.
Well, welcome back here to the Ram Report with head coach Tim Miles. Brian Roth back with you. Well, before we look ahead at that New Mexico and San Diego State game, time to introduce to you the guys kind of behind the scenes. It's a fine assistant coaching staff that head coach Tim Miles has put together, and we caught up with those coaches at our weekly basketball radio show. Now back here at the Beach House Grill on a Monday evening, Coors Light CSU Coaches Show. Talking to all the CSU men's basketball assistants here tonight.
Oh, those guys do. I mean, they make the ultimate sacrifice. They don't get the recognition they deserve. There's no doubt about it.
What's the coaching style of Ron Coleman?
Exactly like how I was as a player. Really fiery, energetic, tenacious. The kind of guy you don't really want to play against, but the kind of guy you would love to go to war with.
He's been great communicating with the guys, and he's been a magnet for them. They've really been attracted to him. They've really responded to personal instruction, whatever it might be, and he's a great recruiter.
Coach Chin this year, new guy, so I mean, he was accepted with open arms.
People at the university are so warm and caring and really welcome me with open arms, so it's been great. It's been really good.
I think as an assistant coach, your job is to facilitate the head coach and make him understand what Coach Miles wants, how can we be better.
Nico Medved was the first guy that I talked to here at CSU, and you know, it's kind of like a little family that we got going.
You know, I'm a guy that you try to relate to your guys, you know, you try to do it and get to know them on a different level. Hey, there's a time when you have to really push hard, and there's some times you have to put an arm around guys and make them, you know, work to their potential.
Greg Smith is the last of the assistant coaches joining us here in the program. You have been a head coach in the past.
Yeah, you know, I think it's different when you're being a head coach is different than being an assistant coach in some ways. I think you got to look around and say, okay, what does everybody bring to the table? Come on, no misses, get it up! Always trying to be a step ahead, I think, is really important.
They spend unbelievable amount of hours watching tape. I mean, watch every game that an opponent's play and chart how many times he drives right, how many times he drives left.
He over-communicates, he's a leader for their team. He's always going to be calling what Coach K is calling.
It's a lot of work, it's a lot of man hours watching tape, figuring out the players, figuring out their scheme, what they're going to do, where are we at, how are they going to attack us, what can we do to attack them, you know, all that kind of stuff, and then play from there. You can't cover everything, so that's where you got to really depend on your system.
It's just great to be working with these guys. I think Craig said it best too. You want to like who you're working with, and we've been fortunate with all my staff guys. They've all been good guys, all been fun to work with. You know, that whole group has been outstanding for us. It's been a lot of fun.
1, 2, 3.
Well, again, that's a look at the assistant coaching staff here at Colorado State, and Tim, as you know, any good head coach has to surround himself with good coaches.
Well, there's no question. Our staff is really strong, and it's not only those are three coaches. You look at our support staff too. Jaden Olson and Greg Eaton, who are administrative guys, and Dolores Price, who does so much behind the works, and our managers, and all those people really matter to building a program. Whether it be Danny Matty and SI in our sports information department or wherever it might be, there's a lot that goes into just winning and losing a game. Outside of the head coach and the players, and these guys really matter. And you look at these assistant coaches, we're blessed and fortunate to have those guys with us.
Yeah, one of the things that I like to see when I travel with you guys, to get behind the scenes look and the amount of preparation that goes into scouting each individual team. And I know Nico Medved and Craig Smith kind of head up the scouting, but the detail that goes into it, I think would kind of astound most just regular basketball fans out there.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's not much that gets by. I mean, these guys are charting, over 6, 8, 10, 12 games, how many times this guy's going to drive to his right hand and score, how many times he drives to his left hand and turns it over, whatever it might be. It's pretty precise stuff that you can only get from watching and doing the work yourself. Those guys are terrific. When you look at the whole staff, Ron Coleman's been a great addition. DeMarlo Slocum went to Utah, and Chin, Coach Chin is his nickname, right? Coach Chin is great with player development. He's a great recruiter, and he's got this huge personality. It's so fun to be a part of. Former excellent player at Lamar College and Weber State, Lamar University down in Beaumont, Texas. And he's really great for us. And then Nico Medved, who's been with me, and Craig. I hired Craig 1 hour earlier than I hired Nico, and so actually Craig's been with us a little longer. But those were the first two guys we brought along. And originally Craig came as ops, and we moved him into a basketball role. And Coach Nico has been in the Big Ten at the University of Minnesota. He's been in the Southern Conference. He's got great connections all across the country recruiting. Craig has worked hard to network himself all over the country. And these guys are all smart coaches. They know how to coach. They know how to get a response out of players. We're really fortunate to have these guys.
Yeah, Greg's also a guy that has head coaching experience as well. Well, you get New Mexico coming up on Wednesday night, and you look at this portion of your schedule at Wyoming and then at New Mexico, home versus San Diego State, at UNLV. This is a tough stretch, and it starts Wednesday night.
Now, let's not forget Air Force. At the end of this, Air Force, which is our last game of the round-robin session, I think it's been a one-possession game here 3 out of the 4 years that we played here. So that Air Force game is going to be no easier either. So it's conference play. There's not an easy one. That's what's great about conferences, is that your teams know each other, you know personnel, you know what coaches' tendencies are, and every game just is a bear to deal with, and it's a lot of fun. New Mexico is tremendous. Playing at the Pit, they just put $100 million into one of the most difficult venues to play in the country already. We've already been at Duke, so that's supposed to be one of the other ones. So I don't know what the trifecta is, but we're probably missing it. But that's going to be a great game. Coach Alver's done a tremendous job with his team. They've had a tough go where they lost at home to San Diego State, probably unexpectedly. And then they got beat. Good first half, tough second half against UNLV the other night. And so they're going to be trying to get back on the winning track, no doubt.
Yep. And then, of course, coming up on Saturday afternoon right here at Moby Arena, San Diego State comes into town. Have you been surprised at the Aztecs' success given what they lost last year?
I will admit I'm a little surprised. I didn't think they'd be I thought they'd be good. Yep. And I thought there was no doubt about it. I just didn't think they'd be this good. And they've got a great win at home against UNLV. They've got a phenomenal win at the Pit against New Mexico. Plus the other stuff they've done. They beat Cal. They beat all these other teams. They're just an outstanding team. And Coach Fisher, I mean, he's won a national championship. He's been to 2 other national championship games, even though you can't find the record on that. The point is, this man is a great recruiter. He's a great coach. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to get a response out of players, and his staff is outstanding. It's going to be an exciting day.
Yep. 2 pretty good tests coming up here for Colorado State. All right, Tim, thanks so much.
Thanks, Brian.
That's head coach Tim Miles. We'll step aside here. Don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we'll shift our attention to women's basketball. Kristen Holt joins us up next here on the Ram Report.
Stay in touch with the Rams by visiting us on Facebook, YouTube, or follow us on Twitter. You follow us and we'll follow you.